Hey, what's going on? It's Houston Hughes. Haven't made a video outside of the home in a while, so I figured why not go on a little adventure with me while I go to HEB to pick up something for my wife, and then who knows what the rest of the day may bring. I don't know. It is a cloudy, gloomy, raining on and off kind of day here in Beaumont, Texas. It's May the 28th, 2025, and first off, I want to thank everybody that has subscribed to my channel. It means more to me than you probably even know, and I'll explain more of that in another video, like why it means so much to me, and how hard sometimes these videos are for me to do. So, but that's a separate video. We're not going to talk about that today. But what we are going to talk about is why we have not had no sun around here, I feel like, for a while. We'll have like a couple of sunny days, and then we'll have 5 days of just gloomy, cloudy, muggy, rainy weather. And then all that does is make it more humid here in Southeast Texas. So when it says it's 85, 87 degrees, you best believe it's going to feel every bit of 100 outside here. So, but all in all, I'd say Beaumont's not the worst place to live, but it's actually not the best. There's high crime here. I don't know if anybody ever read the list of the least educated cities in the United States, and Beaumont ranked #1. Like, our city is so stupid that they made it on Saturday Night Live for being the least educated city, and it was hilarious because they were like, Colin Jost was like, he said something, he was like, well, the people of Beaumont who won't be able to read this, and I was like, I see what you did there. It's so uneducated they can't even read. Oh yeah, it's a gloomy day, but I figured I'd bring you guys along for the ride so you get a little more idea about me. Just a normal day. Woke up, looked for some jobs. I have no idea why it's becoming so hard to get an interview and get a job. I've been looking since probably like mid-February, and I've had, let's see, one interview for a job that Indeed sent me on that I wasn't even qualified for. It was like a clinical technician research. I'm like, why even bother interviewing me? You see my resume. But it's a pain in the ass trying to find a job now. Like, I have really good experience. I mean, when somebody comes to you professionally dressed with a good polished resume showing, hey, I have 25 years experience as a manager. I've got 10 going on 12 years as a journalist and a photographer, videographer, and I can't get an interview. I had what I thought was a job, and then I got hired. I did my drug test, background check, all that was good. They called, sent me my offer letter after all that cleared. I was like, heck yeah. Finally, after all the searching, this was probably, might have been about 3 weeks ago now. And it was really defeating because they basically, after they hired me, they basically ghosted me and never called me back to tell me the location I'd be working at, anything. And then I get an email just saying this job has been closed. So I'm like, it is what it is. But that's what's so hard about finding a job here in Beaumont. It's very, very frustrating is what it is. I'm not sure if it's like that. If it's like that for anybody else out there, let me know in the comments, because this is the worst I've ever had trying to find a job. Usually I can go from one job almost right to the next, have no issues finding a job. Oh man. And I hate when the pickup line is really long. because there's a bunch of lazy people here. So I don't mind parking and going in to get what I need. I gotta wait for this turkey to move. He's walking like he's 90, but he's probably younger than me. I'm 44. I'll be 45 this year. A lot of people say I don't look that or act it. I'm like, well, I've been A1 since day one. I've been pretty much the same person. Like, I haven't switched up on nobody. I still jam, screw, hip hop, all that, you know. Like, I love the same cars I used to love, low riders, this and that. I love baseball. Baseball first, Astros second. And then you got my other favorite teams, the Dodgers, Yankees, Orioles, the Athletics. I love watching those guys. Then I have favorite players all around the league. So it's always baseball first and Astros second for me. And then my other teams. My wife is from LA. So she's a huge Dodgers fan. And everybody's probably wondering, how did this Astros guy get him a Dodgers girl? And how did they make it work? Well, here's how it works. I'm a baseball fan, so I can root for the Dodgers too. I'm still trying to get her to root for the Astros, but she's getting a little better. Now that some of the players are gone, that was in that whole the whole scandal, the cheating scandal, the stealing signs scandal, which I still never understand, because growing up playing baseball, I mean, heck, and I even played till I was 38, playing baseball and football, full contact football and like regular MSBL baseball, fast pitch baseball. So, but growing up, you were always taught, like, you could see what they're calling, like, you know, the coach may do this, something like this, and you know from just playing these teams that, man, they're about to do this. This is their, you know, sign for stealing. This is their sign that he's going to swing or something. Do we get to know the catcher if he's, you know, down or just this, whatever it is, whatever the catcher sends a signal. But now they're able to talk. But back in the days, you used to be able to hone in on that and be like, oh, I know what he's about to do, because you were kind of taught, pay attention. And if the coach does this, then they're likely going to steal or swing or do this. So I never really got that part. I mean, I know they use probably some, you know, cameras and other methods probably that weren't the best to get the information they were trying to get. But either way, we're World Series champs, baby. And then we came back and did it again and shut the haters up because they thought, you know, we couldn't win without cheating. And guess what? We did. And then this year started off horrible for the Astros. I'm going on a whole fucking baseball rant now, but it's whatever. I told you I love baseball. But this year the Astros started off a little rocky. Then we stole a game or two from the Mariners, and we were about 2.5 games back for the division lead. And now I think we might be about a game back after the atrocious start we had. Now if we could just keep momentum, if Christian Walker can get his bat going, which has been swinging lately, hit that grand slam the other night for the win, the walk-off. So, and we got great players. So, and they're making it happen despite a few injuries. You know, in our bullpen situation's not the best, but we've been coming through with wins and hanging in there. And luckily, our division is full of some turds right now. Rangers aren't doing good. Angels aren't doing good. Athletics aren't doing good. So, you know, got the Astros and the Mariners are going to battle it out all season. And I think my Astros, if they do like they have in years past, then the Astros will surge after the All-Star break and just break right into the playoffs and make a run. That's my prediction. But if there's a year that we don't make the playoffs, I'm afraid it could be this year. If we don't get it together after the All-Star break or be consistent winning, because we'll be 2 games above 500, and then all of a sudden we're 2 games under 500. Then we're back above 500, then we're under 500. Consistency will help us get in the playoffs, and fingers crossed that the Mariners hit a rough patch and just drop games. But with Cal Raleigh hitting the way he is, Julio Rodriguez bats coming alive, it's going to be tough to outperform the Mariners for a full season. So we'll see. I'm about to run in HEB, get what I need. Not really used to talking in public yet, so who knows? Maybe you'll come with me, maybe you won't. If not, I'll be back. All right, so we got what we needed at HEB. got me an energy drink too. Kind of give me a little perky here on this cloudy, ugly day in Beaumont. Look at all those clouds. Man, this is like the perfect weather to stay at home and sleep, but no time to sleep. Not today. All right, so got that over with. I was gonna like stop by a few stores because I'm getting tired of sitting at home, you know? That's the worst part about not having a job and having to look for a job is it sucks sitting at home all day, but this weather ain't making it exciting really to be out and about. And I'm that person that hates my town I live in. Like, absolutely hate it here. To do anything, you have to drive 2 hours to Houston, about an hour and a half to Houston, just to do anything fun, because nothing here. There's never no events. We'll have the annual Texas State Fair that comes, but all that is like after the sun goes down, everybody starts fighting. So it's like, you can't go and have fun there anymore. It used to be fun, but then you have little festivals here and there that people enjoy. Just not my type of stuff. Still too country around here, even though it's a semi big city, big town, whatever you want to call it here. It's one of those places like all you do is wake up, go to work, wait for the weekend, and then just wait to go back to work, because there's not a lot to do around here. And not to mention the drivers are so slow. I drive a Camaro, so nothing really special about it. But I don't like driving by these people. Let me tell you this. Okay, so the speed limit on this road is 45 miles an hour. I'm going 35 because these people don't know how to drive or read the speed. They will go 25 to 30 miles an hour on this stretch right here. I'm going 20. And the speed limit's 45. That's the kind of beef I got with people here. I'm like, is it part of that, is it part of the being the most uneducated city in the U.S.? And maybe they don't know how to read that sign. I don't know. I know how to read it. And I blow past 45 on this damn thing. I'm the speeder. Not really, I've been doing better. I told my wife I would do better because I want to stay safe for her, so I've been doing better about controlling I just get so excited sometimes, especially if it's a wide open road and I can just gun it. I love it, but I gotta calm down, man. But yeah, this is a little bit of Beaumont. I'm not sure you can see much out my side window, but it is what it is. There's not a whole lot to do here. It's about to rain, so I'm gonna skip out on go into another store. I collect sports cards. I was gonna run into Walmart, see if I could get lucky, find a box or something to treat myself today. Just needed to get out of the house really, because it's just, you know, if anybody out there that has looked for a job and been without a job knows how miserable it is sitting at home all day. And I never thought I'd be in this situation, because for the longest time I covered sports. I was a journalist, covered sports, I covered music, hip hop music. I worked with artists. I covered, man, I've been published over 1,000 times for sports stories, photos, everything from Houston Chronicle to the Beaumont Enterprise, the Orange Leader, Rolling Stone magazine, Vibe magazine. I've done a lot. I thought that's what I was going to do for the rest of my life, and then 2020 hit, and like everything else, you know, people's lives got totally changed, and at first I didn't think I was going to be one of those people. I said, well, as soon as everything gets back to normal, I'll be back at work, no problem. But then they had restrictions of how many people can be on the sidelines. Newspaper here went from having, one time when I worked for the Beaumont Enterprise, there was 5 of us, and now I think there's one person covering in orange, and there used to be 3. So I haven't been able to really cover a game. I have my side business where I go out and I do photography at like Little League games, all sporting events. I've done literally every sport you can think of. I mean, I've done tennis, I've done golf, I've done swimming. I've literally covered and shot every sport. And not just photography, I also write. So some games I would go to and I would write, and then I would have to edit photos and do all of this. Like, say a football game would end at probably about 10 p.m., 10:15 sometimes, depending. And I would have to have my stuff in by 11 p.m., 1,000-word game summary with a few pictures attached by 11 p.m. so it can go to press and be ready for the morning. So, but I thought I was gonna be doing that the rest of my life. And then the bullshit ass virus came along, and let me tell you, that was some bullshit, because it hasn't been the same since. And where I live, it's such a smaller area. There's not a lot of opportunity here for me to do what I love doing. So it's really hard trying to find a job doing what you love. Like doing what I was doing what I'm good at. Because I don't really want to go back into doing like retail management or anything like that, because to me that is just bogus. I don't want to deal with people no more. Nobody. Like, I just want to go to work, do my job, and smile while I'm doing it, and be happy. Like, covering sports was the greatest thing, and being able to work with some of my favorite artists in Houston, I never felt like I was at work. I was constantly smiling, constantly having fun, being praised for my work. And to now, just since 2020, it's been some bullshit. Like working one job and then you're like, man, you know what? Can't deal with people. And then my last job, I was an HR manager for JCPenney, and then I was out because of for a little bit for my mental health. I deal with bipolar, and my medication was not working because of the extra stress that was on me at this job. And so even with doctor's notes and everything, I went back to work one day at before I went into work, manager texted me telling me I was no longer employed. What kind of horse shit is that? You got an employee that's out dealing with doctor's notes, dealing with mental health issues, to the point I felt like I was going crazy because my medication was not working. It wasn't strong enough. I was under so much stress, working literally every night. Like an early shift, there's 10 o'clock to 6 p.m. if you're lucky. Now, closing shift, you're there late. So it's like a regular opening shift. You're still there by the time it gets dark. And then work every weekend, and then the time that you have off is like maybe a Sunday if you're lucky, and then a day during the week. And then don't dare ask for a day off. But I thought it was pretty shady of a company like JCPenney, who they said they pride themselves on being mental health advocates, and they even have like this little program in the store. But a person who's been dealing with this my whole life, been on one medication for like 10 years, that all of a sudden wasn't working, and with doctor's notes, she still told me I had no job left. So that's why I'm looking for a job, for being honest, because but that's how people are in this town. Like, people get, I don't know, when I lived in Houston, I never had issues with people. But here it's just a bunch of people that are scared you're going to take their job. And I'm like, look, I'm perfectly happy being an HR supervisor. I'm not here to take your job as store manager because that's extra on me, man. And like, I know my limits. And what's crazy is I could cover games and I would be, you know, say like some of my first games would probably start at 5 p.m. I wouldn't wrap up my day until about 2 a.m. by the time I was like wound down, ate, and everything else got ready for bed, you know, like, and that never bothered me, like, but this whole, they never gave me like any time off, like working those hours covering sports. I was never like stressed out about it. I was never depressed about it. Nothing. But this, like, no weekends off with my wife. Get home in the evenings. My wife goes to bed early because she wakes up real early. And so you get a couple hours with each other. And for somebody like me, I was like, man, I need more than just one day off here and one day off here and then work 6 weeks straight before I have to just be like, hey, I'm taking the weekend off, whatever, you know. And or they'll treat you. They'll be like, oh, it's your weekend off. I'm like, thank God, after 6 or 7 fucking weeks. I hope I have a weekend off, because when I started, they said they rotated. And when you say you rotate weekends, to me, that means like other places where you work a weekend, you're off a weekend. And I was cool with that. I was not cool with working 6, 7 weeks in a row without a weekend, without 2 days off in a row. So, and all that pressure just kind of built up on me. And I had go see my therapist, my doctors, everything else, because I was like, what is going on? My medicine's not working. And people like JCPenney's doesn't care. They don't want to, they say they care about their employees, but when an employee has a serious condition that they deal with, and they come in, they produce, they do their job really well, and then as soon as that employee needs something, they're like, oh, sorry, we don't need you anymore, you're out of here. And then they wonder why they have a high turnover rate and why they're about to close down, because not even anybody shops there anymore. I go on rants sometimes, so this was one of those rants. But anyways, enough about that. I'm back home. It's about to start pouring down rain. Hopefully you guys got to know me a little better just on this little trip we took together. Until next time, I'm Houston Hughes, and I'm out.